This is a KSLA News 12 special report. First Alert Weather Day, Icy Impact. Sponsored by Barksdale Federal Credit Union, Mattress Plus, and your local Rebath.
And good afternoon, everyone, once again, and welcome back. So, we're later on in this stream here, starting at 2 p.m., Governor Landry will be giving a press conference here on the winter weather and the impacts that is left around the Arklatex. So, make sure to stay tuned for that. We'll be live streaming that YouTube channel or that YouTube live here on KSLA News 12 on our streaming platforms, all of our streaming platforms. That's Facebook, that's YouTube, and also that's our KSLA News 12 app here. So just before that, though, we're going to be diving into a little bit of a forecast as well as talking to some of our KSLA team members on the road conditions as well as the power outages that we have seen across the Arklatex here. Just a quick weather update for you guys. We are looking... Actually want to bring up a sky camera real fast here. Looking live out through our KSLA tower camera, sponsored by Mattress Plus. We have actually a few icicles there on the camera here, just showing how cold it is, and we're still seeing ice on the ground across many areas around the Arklatex here. And looking at First Alert Doppler radar, it shows that we are dealing with dry conditions here at the surface and in the skies as well. But we will be dealing with the cold and Arctic air throughout the rest of today and into tonight for sure, as temperatures plummet into the 20s and into the teens for many of us as we move into early tomorrow morning, and maybe even some in the single digits. Temperatures right now currently in the 20s and 30s right now, around Shreveport around 28 degrees, 30 by Marshall, 30 by Longview as well, 26 by DeQueen, and 31 over by Nacogdoches. But we're still under this extreme cold warning that lasts from now until we reach our noon hour on Tuesday. This includes everywhere around the Arklatex region, and this will expire once again on noon on Tuesday, and that's more than likely when our KSLA First Alert Weather Days will expire as well. We had a long stretch of KSLA First Alert Weather Days starting on Friday, and it will be ending more than likely by Tuesday afternoon as we begin the afternoon on Tuesday here. And that's mainly, this extreme cold warning is in effect mainly due to these temperatures that we can expect by early tomorrow morning. Around 10 degrees by DeQueen, 11 for Idabel, 16 by Texarkana, 14 for Shreveport, and we're looking at the upper teens and lower 20s by Manny, Natchitoches, as well as Winfield on the far left corner of your screen here. So that's a quick weather update for you guys. We're also going to be dealing with warmer conditions as we move through the rest of the week here, which actually I'm going to show you guys in just a second here. Once I find that 7-day forecast for you, we are expecting highs to rise into the lower to mid 30s across the region for this afternoon here. Just showing you guys the full picture here. It shows that we will be under a KSLA First Alert Weather Day until Tuesday afternoon. But by the time we reach our Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or at least during the afternoon hours here after 12 p.m., that's when we could start to see well above average temperatures here around the Arklatex and allow for that ice to melt, but it may refreeze again, causing some black ice concerns through the next few mornings ahead of us. Heading into Thursday and Friday, we will be dealing with warmer conditions, but Friday brings another cold rush of cold air here around the Arklatex, and temperatures will stay in the 40s and 50s as we move through the rest of the 7-day period here. But now, after we're done, or now that we're finally done with the forecast here, we're going to be talking to some of our KSLA team members. Starting off first is our KSLA sports reporter, Chris Demergen here. Hello, Chris. We are going to be, we're talking today about the power outages and the restoration. Can you tell us a little bit about what you may know about that so far due to this winter storm?
You know, CJ, it's quite a chilly day over here. We're over here at Independence Stadium as officials from SWEPCO are over here trying to work hard to restore power over here in Shreveport Bossier. It's right the Arklatex right here. I'm gonna flip the camera around for a second. Let's see if we can do this on here. Not sure how to flip this camera on here, but I guess I was trying to turn this around this way, I guess. And you can see in the distance over here, see trucks in the background. From of course different parts of the country over here, working hard right now to restore power over here. And you see everyone over here. We're at Independence Stadium. Of course, the ground is still icy over here as well, as officials are working hard to get everything restored over here, here in Northwest Louisiana. And Brett Madison, yeah. Brett Madison, he actually came right on time. Here we go. Christopher Virgin over here, sports director chat on KSLA. We have Brett Madison with us. CJ, I don't know if you can hear Mr. Brett through my AirPods. Let's disconnect these, but do it on the fly right here.
Yeah, sure.
Hey, so obviously we're talking outages, how it's affecting everyone here in Northwest Louisiana and throughout the Ark-La-Tex and beyond. You know, I'm sure these last few days have been crazy.
Absolutely.
It's been quite interesting, have they not?
Yes, they sure have. This is something that our area is not accustomed to and used to. Of course, we don't have the equipment with, snow plows. We got very few trucks with, sand and those type things, and we're very appreciative to have that. But what happened is starting on Friday is we had some sleet really start hitting our area, and then it slowed down about midday on Saturday, basically quit. Then we got a second wave that started Saturday night, and it was an amazing amount of sleet that came down and just peppered our area here where we are in Shreveport-Bossier area. And it went south in what we call the Valley District, a little bit, in the middle of DeSoto Parish, all the way down through Natchitoches and further south. They actually had an ice storm. So at the height of the storm on early Sunday morning, we had about 70,000 customers out. Now we're down to about 28,000. That includes just a few in Arkansas and about 6,000 in Texas. But the bulk of the remaining customers are in Louisiana. We've got about 2,000, 2,100 in Shreveport, and then the rest, 23,000 or so, are down in the Natchitoches Valley area. So we've set up a base camp there. We've got about 3,000 workers that are on site that have come in from our contractors to help us out. We also have our own crews, and then crews from AEP have come to help us because they didn't get hit as bad as we did. So the good thing is tomorrow, it looks like the temperatures are going to get up in the 40s. We're making a lot of good progress. And where we are here, as you can see, this is a staging area at the State Fairgrounds in Shreveport, where we've got, about 1,200 people that are working out of this area. When we get the Shreveport area on, they're going to start moving further south. So we appreciate all the, customers' patience and just hanging in there with us. We know it's tough. It's cold temperatures, and we've got crews that are working 16 hours a day and also through the night nonstop. And we won't quit till we get everybody back on.
Awesome. CJ, I don't know if you heard all that, but that's the latest over here from Independence Stadium over here in Shreveport as officials from SWEPCO, I assume came from all over the country, I assume, right?
Yes, that's right. Yes, they did.
Came from all over the country trying to help out to get Shreveport, Bossier, and the entire Ark-La-Tex back powered up once again.
Yeah, that definitely sounds good, Chris. All good information. Thank you, God. Thank you, and your visitor as well for joining us for today. Very much appreciated.
Appreciate it, CJ. Talk to you later.
And we're going to be also talking to another KSLA team member. We have Mr. Marvin Andrade, who is going to be talking to us about the roadway and conditions out there across the Ark-La-Tex. Sorry a little bit for that audio echo there, but he's going to be talking to us about roadway conditions. So, Marvin, tell us about what's going on out there on those roadways and the sidewalks.
CJ, let me tell you guys, I'm from Los Angeles, so this whole experience has been completely new to me, way out of my comfort zone, but it's been nice. But these roads aren't nice. I'm gonna show you a little bit right below here, and you can see I gotta get to some spots, but they're really slippery. Like, I'm barely moving my feet, and you can see how they slide. And as a matter of fact, I'm here in the parking lot of my hotel, and earlier today when I was doing my live shots, when I was trying to set up the camera and everything and putting everything in the car, I almost fell. That was in the morning. I didn't fall. And I said it live, bro. I'm like, I didn't fall. I just slipped. And then guess what happened? I come back from my live shots and I take a step and boom, I fell. Nothing too crazy, but that's how these roads are. That's how these sidewalks are. They're really slippery. Imagine it's just me, just a person, but imagine if a car is driving on something like this. That's the conditions of these roads. They're very slippery, so that's why we've been saying it nonstop probably for a week already, if not more, that during this winter storm, and I know it's past, but the stuff, the ice and the sleet is still here. During all of this, it's just important to just stay home, enjoy it safely outside of your house, in the street, but not driving, just because the storm is gone, obviously, but you can clearly see it's still slippery down here, and the whole parking lot still has a lot of that ice and sleet that remains. So that's how these roadways are. But like we've been just saying, is just stay home, enjoy the warm, enjoy this weather from the comfort of your house, your backyard. We've been seeing some cool videos. I saw, my favorite one was of the horse, the kid that was getting dragged by the horse. I was like, that's nice. I wouldn't mind doing that. But things like that, have some fun like that, but not driving. It's not recommended. Yesterday, let me actually talk about yesterday too. Yesterday, I had a help about, I want to say 2 people who were stuck, and it was after the storm had passed. It was around like 4 p.m. I had to help them push their cars because they were stuck in a pile. I want to say sleet. I'm not gonna lie. This whole weekend, I kept on texting all the meteorologists before I said anything. I'm like, "This is sleet, right? This is ice. This isn't snow." But essentially, that's what they were stuck on yesterday, on a pile of sleet, because the impact is still here because of the freezing temperature that you guys have been mentioning nonstop. And yeah,
Yes, that is
that's how
definitely right, Marvin. We've been dealing with sleet throughout the entirety of this system here, and pretty much the freezing temperatures are keeping it right in place, along with a bit of some ice secretion, which is a little bit of a glaze right on the top of the sleet that has already fallen. That's why pretty much you've been dealing with the slippery conditions out there outside of your hotel there. So yeah, thank you once again, Marvin, for sharing the road conditions out there, and hopefully we can get those roads melted pretty soon here. Hopefully by tomorrow afternoon, we should see temperatures well above freezing, and that will start the melting process, and hopefully we can get the road cleared off pretty soon here. Thank you once again,
And that's
Marvin, for
something
joining us today.
DOTD actually mentioned. Since you mentioned that point before, I gotta go.
Okay.
They actually mentioned that in the night it's supposed to refreeze again. That's why DOTD, Department of Transportation, doesn't want people to be driving yet, because overnight all of whatever melts because of the sun radiation is gonna refreeze. So it may look like some roads are clear to go, but that black ice will remain in the morning.
That is definitely all information that is true there from our KSLA reporter, Marvin Andrade. Thank you, thank you so much for joining me today, Marvin.
You're welcome. Have a good one.
And we're going to be talking a little bit about the weather here. I believe the stream is starting up in just a few moments or so. I believe it says around 2 minutes or so. We have around 2 minutes until this stream will be starting for Governor Landry. I just want to give another reiteration on the weather conditions that we can expect through the overnight hours for tonight. I'm going to pull up some graphics here once again just to show you guys what we can expect by early tomorrow morning, just before the press conference starts here. By early tomorrow morning, we should see temperatures dive deep into the teens and the potentially even the single digits out there for some areas around the Arklatex. Around 18 degrees by Natchitoches, 19 for Winfield, 17 by Mansfield and Coshada, 16 by Center, 18 by St. Augustine, 14 over by Nacogdoches, and we're dealing with even colder temperatures in the far northern portions of the Arklatex there, near 10 for DeQueen. And I believe Shreveport, what meteorologist Jake Lambright says, we got down to around 19 degrees near Shreveport Bossier, and our feels like temperature was 7. We're expecting very similar conditions heading into the overnight hours for tonight, and potentially even cooler than that for many areas around the region here. So make sure to bundle up as we move through the overnight hours for tonight. We'll be under this extreme cold warning, which is now in effect for now, and it's going to be in effect until around noon on Tuesday. So we have around 22 hours left of this warning here, and that's mainly because of the dangerously low temperatures that we can expect by early tomorrow morning, and the low temperatures we can expect through the rest of today here. Temperatures shouldn't rise out of the 30s for anywhere around the Arklatex by this afternoon, but with the sun out, that does help the ice to melt a little bit, and that, just as Marvin mentioned before, we are expecting that ice to refreeze. If it does melt a little bit this afternoon, it should refreeze through the overnight hours for tonight. And then it should start to, it may go under a bit of a pattern here of melting and refreezing here across the Arklatex, mainly due to the well above average temperatures for the afternoon, and still below freezing, or well above freezing temperatures, I should say. Above freezing temperatures for the afternoon hours ahead of us, and into the below freezing range, below 32 degrees for the next few mornings ahead of us. But we should see a bit of a cool down by the end of the work week. And actually, I'm going to give you a quick look at your 7-day forecast right before this stream starts. Here's a quick look at your 7-day forecast. Once again, we're going to be under KSLA First Alert Weather Day through the rest of the daytime hours for today. I did show a different 7-day forecast earlier. I want to show that once more. Our KSLA First Alert Weather Day will be extended into Tuesday afternoon. So as I will update this live here on air, we will be dealing with another KSLA First Alert Weather Day for tomorrow until Tuesday afternoon, mainly because of the extremely low temperatures we can expect for tonight here. And here's the updated look at your 7-day forecast, which includes the First Alert Weather Day for tomorrow as well, as per Chief Meteorologist Matt Jones. He will be on the shows at KSLA News 12 at 5, 6, and 10. I'll be on at noon and 4. And the stream will be starting here very shortly. We're still waiting for when the stream officially starts here. But here's your 7-day forecast is what I was getting at before. We are expecting KSLA First Alert Weather Days for the beginning of the work week. By the middle of it, we should start to see more melting as compared to refreezing throughout at least Tuesday afternoon and into our Wednesday afternoon as well. Moving into Thursday, more than likely going to be the warmest day of the work week ahead of us here, where temperatures rise into the upper 40s and lower 50s across the region. And we should see another cool down heading into the start of the weekend here on Friday. And heading into weekend, we will be dealing with little to no rainfall and still chilly conditions. Temperatures will be below the average for this time of year, at least through the next 7 days ahead of us. I believe the average is at around 58 or 59 degrees. I believe it is 59 degrees as we reach towards the end of January. Right now, we're at the end of January. So around 59 degrees is what the average is for highs. And I believe the average for lows is at around 38 degrees here for Shreveport Bossier. So still dealing with below average temperatures in terms of highs and lows throughout this 7-day period. And so make sure to continue to bundle up out there. We are going to be dealing with these very and frigid and cold temperatures here around the Arklatex. So make sure to continue to bundle up through the next few days ahead of us. And we're going to be starting this stream pretty soon here. There's also a bunch of warming shelters around the Arklatex here that you can go to. I believe the Salvation Army is what our KSLA reporter Peyton Manuel was talking about earlier. And if you have generators, just to reiterate, earlier in this stream at around 1 p.m. is what we were talking about here. If you have a generator, please keep it a good distance away from your home here, as it could release carbon monoxide, which is odorless and it's not visible. So it's really a silent killer, honestly. And it already claimed one life already due to this winter storm here. I believe it was yesterday, sadly, and unfortunately, there was a life that has been claimed due to the improper use of generators out there. So hopefully we do not receive any more news just like that through the rest of this week here, as it remains cold and frigid here around the Arklatex. So the stream is still starting up pretty shortly. I'm not sure if it is going to, or it is going to be starting up pretty shortly here. Just 105 people waiting on the stream as of right now. So it will be starting very, very shortly, as mentioned before. I'm just giving you guys a little bit of some reports of sleet here as we're still waiting on this stream. Reports of sleet. We've received many reports of sleet, honestly. And actually, the stream is starting. So I will be handing it over and tossing it over to the stream. Make sure to stay weather aware. We'll have another stream starting at 3 o'clock where Mayor Arsenault will be talking about the winter weather as well.
All right. All right. Is everybody ready? Okay. Well, good afternoon. I want to again thank all of the state employees and local government employees, first responders, and certainly the utility linemen who have been continually working around the clock to maintain our roads and bridges and to restore our power. We are still experiencing and going to continue to experience some bitter cold temperatures. And that is not going to change for a while. Jay is going to explain that. As we are now a few days into this weather event, I want to make one thing very clear. The safety of all of our citizens here in Louisiana remain a top priority of mine and everyone standing behind me. The good news is that the rain and the sleet is gone. And also in the southern part of the state, we're reporting no major power outages. The bad news is that unfortunately in the northern part of our state, many of our citizens in central and north Louisiana are without power while they experience this bitter cold weather. We have approximately 120,000 somewhat out customers who are without power in Louisiana. Again, most of those are in central and north Louisiana, almost all of them are in central and north Louisiana. However, we have doubled the amount of vegetation and linemen to handle restoring the power in that area. That is important. The good news is because the southern part of the state hasn't been affected by power outages, that has allowed those utility companies in the southern part to send resources to the northern part of the state. So we are marshaling and moving those assets as we speak. However, so while these crews work to restore power, tonight, if you're without power, you need to take precautions and bundle up. It is going to be a bitter, cold night. We also want to continue to remind all of our citizens, especially in North Louisiana, to stay off the roadway in North Louisiana where roads are icy. I want to thank you all for listening over the last 24 hours. We really have not had any major auto accidents because people have heeded our advice and stayed off the road. So continue to stay off the road. We have numerous road closures. We've got about 1,500 DOTD personnel that have been deployed and are working right now to either make sure that dangerous roads are closed or roads that we can open are open. Just because a road is passable does not mean it's safe. So if you see people going slow down a road, I would continue down that road in a slow manner as well. We are standing up more warming centers as we receive those requests from the local parishes. Those warming centers are not kicking anyone out at night. We have cots for folks as well. I would again encourage people, if they have not downloaded the Get a Game Plan app, to please do so. If you have the ability to charge your cell phones or your electronic devices, keep them charged. Because again, you may have power right now, but as they work to restore power, they may have to turn the power off to bring that power up. Brandon with the PSC and Philip are going to explain that in a bit. We are going to continue to urge you all to stay weather aware. If you're using a generator, use it safely. Continue to monitor official updates as we move through this week. Prolonged cold and potential power outages from this winter storm increases the risk of house fires. It increases the risk of house fires. Please be diligent and heed the warnings and the precautions that Brian Adams, our fire marshal, is going to go over in just a minute. be very careful. I urge you again, be very careful around the use of heating devices in your home. Please use caution, again, when using those heating devices to prevent deadly fires. And also, we want you to be aware, especially if you're using gas-fired heating elements, to be mindful of carbon monoxide. It is a silent killer. LDH has announced 3 deaths so far, but we are tracking 3 additional deaths. Early indications show that there are 2 additional hypothermia deaths and 1 loss of oxygen. The hypothermia occurred in an apartment and 1 in a mobile home. So again, please, please, please check on your neighbors, your friends, and your families. Again, this is going to be bitter cold. If you do not have power or a heating source, you need to take precautions. It's going to be extremely cold tonight. Thank you to everyone, again, who continues to listen and stay off the roads, as I said earlier. And as I explained, those deaths really are heartbreaking and tragic. And so our thoughts and prayers go out to their families and everyone that's been affected. This weather event, again, continues to be very dangerous, and we're urging you all to take these precautions. Don't travel unless it's necessary in North and Central Louisiana. Be cognizant of your heating sources and your generator use. We will continue to remain fully engaged, protecting life and supporting our communities throughout this event. Again, because we've had little power outages in the South, that's allowed us to double the amount of linemen that we can send up to North Louisiana to work. Our state emergency operations center is fully activated. GOSEP is coordinating with local officials, and contingency plans are in place. Just to give you some statistics, DOTD has already expended 3.2 million pounds of salt, over 75,000 gallons of brine. They've got over, as I said earlier, 1,500 personnel deployed. Louisiana State Police has 377 personnel activated, working right now, and an additional 525 on standby, with 214 support personnel performing other duties. LDH has 76 warming centers currently open. I think there are 14 warming centers that are pending open. Bruce will talk about those. FEMA has helped us pre-position assets, generators, water, and meals as well. We've approved the federal declaration for direct federal assistance. We're going to be asking the White House to grant us a major declaration, because we know we're going to have a tremendous amount of vegetation and debris to pick up after. The Louisiana National Guard is fully activated. They've got 118 available generators, over 140,000 MREs, over 600,000 bottles of water, and they've got 123 personnel currently working. DCFS has the Child Protection Hotline is remaining fully operational, and leadership and essential personnel are in place 24/7. Again, the fire marshal is going to talk to you all about fire safety. That's the thing that I would love to see. I would like to have no more house fires or fire-related events, and certainly no more deaths due to carbon monoxide or hypothermia. And with that, I would like to bring Jay up so he can kind of walk us through this week's weather.
Thank you, Governor. As you pointed out, Governor, even though we're done with the freezing rain, the sleet, and the snow, we're still a long way from being out of the woods in terms of the cold. The dangerous and potentially deadly cold will continue through the week. In fact, for today, a good bit of North Louisiana will not get above freezing. And tonight, temperatures will dive down back into the teens and maybe even some single digits across the northern tier of parishes. Central Louisiana will get down into the teens, and it could drop down all the way into the 20s, even for the coastal parishes tonight. So we're talking about a prolonged freeze that extends into the day tomorrow. Now, the sunshine is back. Some good news there. And tomorrow, we should get above freezing statewide, although the duration above freezing, particularly in the northern parishes, will be relatively short. It's another hard freeze for much of the state. Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, a prolonged freeze there, and we'll do it all over again Wednesday night into Thursday morning. Temperatures remaining below normal all week long, and in fact, we could see a reinforcing surge of Arctic air this upcoming weekend that could take North Louisiana back down into the teens for Saturday and Sunday morning. So the cold is clearly not out of the way yet. It's going to be with us for a while, and that means getting rid of that ice that lingers. That's going to be there for a number of days. For people without power, it's not just the outdoor temperatures. Indoor temperatures are going to get dangerously cold with this prolonged run of temperatures at and below freezing. So we want to make sure that folks across the state are ready and prepared for this prolonged run of bitterly cold temperatures. You may have seen the potential for some precipitation later this week, Thursday into Friday. Don't worry, it's not going to come in a winter form that's going to add to the icing we already have, but just be prepared and aware that it could develop on Friday. I think it all comes as rain, though, all in liquid form, and again, won't add to the problems that we have out there right now. Now, with even temperatures below freezing, sunshine will generate some melting each and every day. That's some good news, but we want to remind you that while roads may clear up a bit during the midday and afternoon hours, while that melting is going on, some of that liquid could run out onto the roads and create new icing conditions for that early morning drive. So be extra aware and cognizant of the threat there for those morning commutes as you begin to work your way out the door. And of course, these melting and power outages as we get farther into the week, more likely to create additional infrastructure and water pressure issues as we go through the week and towards the upcoming weekend. And so, in summary, to repeat what the governor has already mentioned, we want everyone out there to remain weather aware, and maybe just as important, we ask you to be extra patient. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Jay. Glenn Leday, Secretary of DOTD. As the governor mentioned, we continue to ramp up operations to post-storm recovery. We've got over 1,500 personnel statewide working to help recover. We've got personnel, as the governor mentioned, assets that we're bringing from the south and moving those north so that we can continue to support really everyone north along that I-20 corridor. Really what our crews are doing now, we're trying to break up that ice in these northern parishes. We're treating that. Luckily, we had the largest inventory of both brine and salt in the state's history. And so that went a long way. As the governor mentioned, almost over 3.3 million pounds of salt have already been delivered and over 75,000 gallons of brine. We continue to treat those roads over the coming days. As Jay mentioned, as that ice continues to thaw, we'll continue to get that precipitation off the roads to keep them safe in these coming days. In addition to that, we're working closely with PSC and the energy companies to clear the roads. We've got crews deployed all over North Louisiana helping to remove tree debris to allow that power to be restored. And so those continue to be DOTD's primary focuses, is improving these roadway conditions, getting all state roadways open, and making sure they're safe for the traveling public. In general, as the governor mentioned, please stay off the roads, but if you have to travel, if necessary, please look out for our crews and the emergency response crews. Please drive slowly. And again, if there are roadways that are closed, remember it's unlawful to go around these barricades. And so please be cognizant of that. As roadway conditions change, please look at our website, 511la.org, and our app, 511LA. As conditions change over the coming days, as Jay mentioned, please look at the roadway conditions and any changes there. Thank you. Turn it over to State Fire Marshal.
Thank you, Secretary Leday. So I'm going to talk a little bit about heating safety, and we've talked about that continuously over this event and previous. So we are currently investigating our 13th fire fatality of the year, which is just, unprecedented for us this quickly through January. So I'm going to talk a little bit about heating safety. If you have power and you're using space heaters, you want to keep those space heaters 3 to 5 feet away from anything that could catch on fire. Blankets, spreads, curtains, all those other things that you may have in your room. If you're going to use a fireplace tonight because you don't have heat, you want to try to turn it off before you go to bed. You don't want to have an open flame. You don't want to have open candles. You want to make sure you turn those things off, cover up with extra blankets. If you have that, opportunity to cover up with those extra blankets. Again, the space heaters, you want to make sure that you unplug those. If you're using them, plug them directly into the outlets, not into extension cords or other surge suppressors, because they are not made for those. If you have a working smoke alarm in your home, and I hope you do, make sure before you go to bed tonight, you check that. Push that test button and make sure it works. Again, we want to make sure that you understand that those heating safety issues are very important and very critical to make sure that you make it out of your home tonight if something happens. Thank you, boss.
I'm Bruce Greenstein. I'm the Secretary of the Louisiana Department of Health. I've got a couple of data points that I want to share and then some safety tips that I really hope everybody will follow. Let me just start out by thanking the governor for his strong leadership and starting out as a way to think about when we were together on Thursday, the governor implored all Louisianians to stay off the road when it was unsafe. And today we are very proud that there has been no major disasters or fatalities on the road. Yet we have seen 2 hypothermia deaths that we've reported and sourced, and 2 more that we're following up on and will be reporting soon. We think that the hypothermia deaths are avoidable. We really implore you to basically take care of yourself and take care of your neighbors. It's part of the 4 Ps, the first one being people. We're calling out warming shelters today. We have 76 warming shelters / centers open right now, with 14 on the way. We're tracking specifically in the 11 parishes with the highest percentages of power outages. There are multiple shelters in 10 of the 11 parishes, with one, the last parish, that will be open hopefully by the end of today. The warming centers and shelters are only as good as they're being used. We have a fair amount of foot traffic, but there's plenty of access and availability today. You can spend the afternoon there. No one is asking anybody to leave. If you have to stay overnight because where you live is dangerously cold, then I implore you to please use it and stay in the warming shelters. I want to talk about another death that we announced earlier today, and that is for someone that had succumbed to carbon monoxide poisoning. This, again, is an avoidable death. I want to read some specific safety tips and then be very clear. First of all, carbon monoxide is an odorless, colorless gas. The governor referred to it as an invisible killer. Carbon monoxide is present when fuel is burned in engines, furnaces, and open fires. Fuels that can produce carbon monoxide when burned include gasoline, wood, coal, natural gas, propane, oil, and methane. The risk primarily is from when we're seeing generators being used in or very close to the home. So in the death that we reported today, the gentleman succumbed to carbon monoxide poisoning because the generator was running inside of a garage. The garage is not far enough away from the home to run it safely. It must be very clear, at least 20 feet away from the home to run your generator safely. With the number of power outages that we have right now, again, I'm imploring everyone that's using generators outside the house, at least 20 feet away. Lastly, I want to talk a little bit about where we're at with water systems. We track and regulate, monitor, and help water systems around the state. And to put where we're at today in context, we have 48 systems that are affected. That's either outages or boil water advisories. In 2021, the ice event, we had around 400 systems that were impacted. In 2025, last year for the snow event, it was 150. And as I mentioned, today we're at 48. But given the cold weather that we're expecting to see, we expect those numbers to go a little bit higher. If you go to Get a Game Plan, you will see tips on ways to make sure that your home is safe You're protecting pipes, again, one of the 4 Ps. And we want to make sure that you keep the water in your home safe. And again, our local officials are doing a great job of keeping water systems up and running at the local level. That's all I've got for now.
Good afternoon, everyone. Brandon Fry, I'm Secretary with the Public Service Commission. I think y'all can see the map over here as well. That's our utility outage map, current as of noon today. So I'm going to give y'all some numbers of where we peaked per as a state, but also per utility, where we are now as of noon. Those numbers are dropping even as I'm doing the report. So we reported a total peak outage late last night, I guess yesterday afternoon, of about 151,000. However, that didn't account for some of the utilities who lost power earlier and brought it back on before the peak occurred in the northeastern part of the state. The outages went from southwest to northeast as the rain moved through. So we actually had a total peak of 175,000. Utility specific, Beauregard Electric, which would be in Vernon, Beauregard Parish, peaked at about 3,700. They're 100% restored now. Claiborne Electric in Claiborne Parish peaked at 650. I've got 187 now. Clico, which would be Grant, Natchitoches, Red River, I guess parts of Wynn as well. That central part of the state peaked at 23,900. They're down to about 5,100. Concordia, which is in not just Concordia, but a little bit of Catahoula and LaSalle as well, peaked at 2,600. They're at 1,500 now. Energy, which has the Ouachita, Jackson, Wynn, and then up into Richland, the West and East Carroll parishes, where we had the most icing, peaked at about 92,000. We're at about 84,000 now. Northeast Power, which is in, I think, mainly Morehouse, but they come down a little bit into Richland as well, peaked at 8,000, and they're at 7,400. Again, the areas where we saw the most icing are having the slowest restoration. Panola Harrison, which is in DeSoto and Sabine, peaked at 2,600, and they're about 1,000 now. And finally, SWEPCO, which is Caddo, Bossier, Webster, down into Red River, DeSoto, peaked at about 42,500, and they're about 24,500 now. So the total number is down to about 120,000, as the governor said, from that peak of 175. When we spoke last year during the hurricane, I like to look at historical events for comparison purposes to put these numbers into perspective. So for Hurricane Francine, we peaked at 400,000. We had 2 severe weather events when the governor first started. You remember those in April and May of 24. One of those was 208,000. So we actually, from a one-day severe weather event, it occurred peak outages considerably higher than what we're seeing here. That doesn't mean it's going to be easier for the restoration. Obviously, there are struggles here that we don't see in those type of outages. You've heard about the road issues. We can't thank DOTD enough. There's been incredible coordination, Glenn, with all the utilities clearing the roads, and that's where the issues are coming from. This is the large majority of the damage that we're seeing from every utility is tree damage. Trees are taking down lines. Trees that are weighted down from the ice are falling into the existing right-of-ways and taking the lines down with them. I do have some general restoration times for the 3 major utilities, which would be Clico, SWEPCO, and Energy. Clico is anticipating the bulk of its system being totally restored tomorrow. There's going to be a lot coming on tonight, but that's the best case scenario. I say best case. That's actually a little bit of a conservative estimate. SWEPCO also anticipates the majority to be restored tomorrow. Some will linger into Wednesday, predominantly in that Red River, DeSoto, Natchitoches area. And Energy is also anticipating about 90% by Wednesday. All of these utilities are going to be providing us some more granular analysis. It typically takes time for them to get out there and do their assessments. So as we get those assessments, we'll be able to push out parish by parish specific information. We are going to work with LDH and ensure that any of these warming shelters that need power or any additional locations are put on the priority list. And finally, for more granular update for Energy and some of the concerns, I know the governor alluded to this about power coming on in winter is a little bit different than from a hurricane because of the heat strain that puts on the system from a heater. And while you'll have some outages go back out, but Philip will explain that in Energy's restoration efforts as well.
Thank you, Brandon. Good afternoon. I'm Philip May, President of Entergy Louisiana. First of all, I want to make sure we clarify what the anticipated restorations are. We are planning to have 90% of our customers that have access, where access issues are not a challenge, and that's primarily along the I-20 corridor, for instance, Ouachita Parish, 90% on Wednesday. For those customers that we're having challenging on access and more severe damage, we anticipate having 90% of our customers restored by Thursday. I just want to emphasize 90% means that most of those customers will be restored before that. It also means that some customers will linger on into a few more days if they have very significant damage. And those customers that have damage to their home, they have to be able to take power. So you may need an electrician because the vegetation has pulled weatherhead and some of the electric equipment away from home. I want to note on the cold load pickup issue. Following a hurricane, there's oftentimes very big gains we can have right after a hurricane because you could, once you clear the line, you can turn the power back on and it gets rolling right away. In the winter, when you have extreme load conditions, you have to do things on a sectional basis. So we will go sometimes block by block, put a section on. We wait until the appliances come on, the heaters come on, make sure that that fuse holds, then move on to the next section. So the point of that is you won't see these big chunks of load coming on like you see after a hurricane. That's going to be slow. It's going to be methodical. But we do have people out there that are actively working the process. We have seen extreme damage due to ice accumulation, particularly in that corridor along the I-20, and then moving up to that northeast portion of the state. We have seen evidence of ice accumulation as great as 1 inch or greater, and that has created a lot of challenges for our system. We do appreciate Secretary Leday and the cooperation we've had with the DOTD because that's an important factor on gaining that access so we can get to those places where we see the damage and make repairs. Entergy has a force of 3,300 people working on the storm and will continue to work until all power is restored. Governor?
Okay, just to wrap this up, first of all, for everyone in Louisiana, pipes, pets, plants, and people, make sure you're checking on your neighbors. A couple of major takeaways. We really would like to not have anyone else die of carbon monoxide poisoning or anyone lose life or property due to fires. If you are using supplemental heat, if you're using an electric heater or a gas furnace, or again, 3 to 5 feet, that means this much from tip to tip. Look at it, say, okay, here's my heating source. Is there anything nearby that could catch on fire this far away from here to here? That will help you. We want you all to stay safe. If you're in Central and North Louisiana, I would again urge you to stay off the roads. Those of you in South Louisiana, I think all of our roads are open and are pretty much safe. At night, it's going to dip into the freezing, hard freeze, as Jay said. So in the morning, when you get on the road, just use a little extra caution. Don't get in a hurry. The state offices are going to open tomorrow, except for those in Central and North Louisiana. So again, the morning commute, take your time. I don't think anyone's going to punish anyone for a little tardiness tomorrow. Be very careful on the roadways. But again, I would urge you, take precaution when supplementing heat. If you're in North Louisiana and you do not have power, and you also do not have heat, you need to find somewhere to go. Don't think, oh, the power may just come on at midnight. It is dangerously cold over the next couple of nights. Find somewhere warm to go. So again, I want to thank all of the citizens who've listened to us and helped to stay off the roadways. I want to thank all of the local and state employees who've been working around the clock. I know it's cold out there. We really do appreciate it. I know our citizens appreciate it. It's what's going to help us get the power on as quickly as possible. I want to thank our utility companies for marshaling the resources necessary to try to get power to our citizens as quickly as possible. Also, let's be patient with the power. As Philip explained to you, it takes time to bring those loads on. With that, we'll take any questions anyone might have. Yes, sir.
So I have a question about cars. cars. So I learned today that if turn on a car when it's freezing and someone immediately puts the defroster by the windshield on very high, it could actually cause the windshield to maybe crack. Could someone kind of speak about what's the best way to do that?
Well, I would think that warming your car up, I'll probably get myself in trouble. In old days, you go outside, you turn the car on, and you kind of let it just warm up real slowly, and then you come back and you get in the car and you can drive away. That's what I would tell you, especially if you've got ice on your windshield. If you give yourself a little extra time, I think getting up in the morning, turning your car on, kind of slowly turning it, let it just warm up, and then making your way on the roadway is probably the best way to do it, because again, you could have some ice accumulation on your windshield. Again, you want to make sure the defroster works. It's going to be, I appreciate that question, bitterly cold. So that windshield is extremely cold as well. Yes, ma'am.
I know your focus right now is weather, but could you give an update on border control operations across the state of Louisiana, specifically Caterpillar Crunch, and where that stands?
Yeah, look, right now we're focused on making sure that people are safe. We're making sure that people get power back on. We are making sure that we clear our roadways. Right now, the safety of the citizens in this state are my top priority.
We're only taking on-topic questions. So. Can you clarify how many hypothermia deaths there have been? Was it 4 or 5?
Bruce, it's 2. Yeah. Well,
we've confirmed 2 so far, and they've been reported already. And we're tracking. There were 3 additional deaths that we're tracking. It appears that from the coroners that an additional 2, so this would be 4 total, are hypothermia as well. What makes this the additional 2 interesting is they both were in their own homes. One was in a mobile home and the other one in an apartment. And again, I'll just implore everyone to use our warming centers and warming shelters, especially for overnight, like tonight. It's really, really important for those, especially with complex medical issues or vulnerable populations, really go in to use the shelters.
Yeah.
Governor, we saw some severe damage in Oxford, Mississippi. Are we sending any resources to our neighbors?
Right now, no, we're trying to extend all of our resources to getting our citizens back on. I will tell you that the damage you saw in Oxford, from what I can tell, I was on the phone all day today with officials up, especially in the northeastern part of the state, that the damage in Oxford is similar to the damage that we're seeing in West and East Carroll and in Richland Parish and in Washita. So right now, we're going to take care of our citizens. Certainly, as assets become available, we will send them to our neighbors. Thank you.
The governor of Oklahoma released a statement as the head of the National Governors Association today, I believe, saying that he believes and the members of the NGA believe there should be a reset on immigration. Are you in agreement?
Well, again, Julie, I'm happy to answer those questions and others as soon as I get all of our citizens out of danger. And so give me a couple of more days. And if Jay can give me some good warm sunshine, I'll be more than happy to address that question.
If anyone has on-topic questions.
Yeah.
I have a question for the state fire marshal's office. You talked a little bit about I think you said 13, was it fatalities from fires? Can you talk a little bit about the free installation of smoke alarms?
Yeah, so a program called Operation Save a Life, where we distribute smoke alarms to any citizen in the state of Louisiana who requests one through their local fire department. And we're happy to give them an alarm, and the fire department will go out and install it for them.
Okay, last one
Okay.
on topic.
All right, one more.
Bruce, can you, Greg Hilburn is reporting that the water is out in Monroe. I know you addressed this, but are there like big water systems that are out? And do you have an idea of where they are?
I can't explain the degree to which water is out for the entire parish, but I do know that we're working with St. Francis Hospital right now, which is experiencing a loss of water pressure. And this is not an internal system issue as it's being reported, but there's a city issue. And so we're tracking it very closely and supplying as much assistance as we can. But we're hoping that within an hour, we'll have restored water pressure within the hospital. And then I hope that that extends to the rest of the parish.
And Julie, that's actually a great question on topic. because here's why. It is really a great question and something that citizens should be aware of. As pipes thaw out, right, and we start to recognize both residential and utility water pipes, we'll see where they failed, right? So right now, if they're frozen, we don't know if they're going to leak. But as it thaws out, they'll start to leak, which will bring the water pressure down, which could create boil advisories or could create low pressure problems as well. And so that is something that we should be prepared for throughout the duration of this event.
All right, last one. Can you talk about, you're looking for an emergency declaration from the White House? What does that allow for? Are you hoping for any financial reimbursement?
Yeah, look, we're in discussions with FEMA. We recognize, as one of the questions alluded to Oxford, Mississippi, and the damage over in Mississippi, which is similar to the northeast section of the state as well. We're seeing, and what we anticipate is huge debris fields that need to be cleaned up. A lot of vegetation has gone down. And so we would need to add to the current declaration that the president has already extended to us, which we are very grateful to both him and Secretary Noem. FEMA has been on the phone with us consistently, but we're going to be urging them to extend that to a major declaration, which would really give us some reassurance that as we start to remove the amount of debris, because some of these parishes are extremely rural parishes that are going to need some help. And so we're going to be working with FEMA and the White House for that. I'm sure that Governor Reeves over in Mississippi is going to do the same, and Bill Lee up in Tennessee as well. Okay. All right. Thank you. Stay safe and warm.
All right, everyone. Oh, okay. So dealing with a little bit of echo there. Sorry about that. So that was just wrapping up Governor Landry's stream. Basically, what he was saying at the end of that stream was to try to stay off the roadways as much as possible, honestly. We're expecting well below freezing temperatures once again by tonight. So everything that is going to melt and that has melted through the overnight hours for tonight will be refreezing, or melted through this afternoon, will be refreezing by the time we hit the overnight hours for tonight here. And coming up in just a little bit, Mayor Tom Arsenault will also be doing a live stream here, streaming on the City of Shreveport page. And he's going to be doing also a winter weather update starting at 3 p.m. We're also going to be having this live stream here, streaming on our Facebook stream, as well as YouTube and on the KSLA News 12 app. So that's coming up right at 3 p.m. I'm going to be doing another quick live weather update for you guys, just to give you a gist of what we can expect through the overnight hours once again, for those who were not paying attention earlier on this stream here. So we're going to take the weather graphics full in just a second. Here's a look at our First Alert Doppler radar, just showing you guys the full picture about everywhere around the Arklatex, just showing you what's going on around the region. And we're not dealing with much as of right now. As you can see, just a bit of some cloud cover moving past from the north and west, and that cooler air mass finally slowly but surely moving into the Arklatex here. That's expected to push temperatures back into the teens, and even the 20s out there, and others into the single digits. Maybe one or two areas will reach into the single digits, but we should deal with feels like temperatures back into the single digits and potentially into the negatives once again around the Arklatex here, or at least in the far northern portion of the Arklatex, to have the highest likelihood of seeing the negative feels like temperatures out there. But temperatures will stay in the teens, and as well as the I cannot think right now. Teens in the single digits there. But yeah, we're going to be dealing with a very cold morning ahead of us here, and through the next couple of days, actually, through the next couple of afternoons, excluding this afternoon, we'll be dealing with well above average temperatures here around the Arklatex. So right now, temperatures are currently in the 30s. They have made their way into the 30s by this afternoon here, around just before 3 o'clock. 29 by Natchitoches, 31 by Longview. As you can see, everywhere around the Arklatex is dealing with below freezing temperatures right now. for those that are reporting. Texarkana around 30 degrees, 34 Magnolia, as well as near Shreveport Bossier. 27 looks to be the coolest temperature up there by Idabel and DeQueen for those that are reporting. But as we move into tonight, temperatures will be diving deep into the teens and single digits, as mentioned before. What does it feel like out there? It feels like the 23 degrees here near Shreveport Bossier. As you can see, it feels like 19 up there by DeQueen right now. It feels like 30 degrees by Longview. It feels like 23, the lower 20s up there by Nacogdoches. So we are dealing with still that northerly wind, making it feel much cooler as compared to the actual temperatures out there, what the actual temperatures are saying. And feels like temperature seems to be a little bit disparity in a couple of areas around the Arklatex. Highs today may be a bit overperforming here. We were expecting the upper 30s in the far southern portion of the Arklatex, but those temperatures have not reached that point throughout the daytime hour, throughout the afternoon so far. We still have a couple of hours left in the afternoon for it to reach that point, but we're still stuck below that freezing mark across the region. So, and I've been seeing some reports, even Chief Meteorologist Matt Jones has been talking about how the sunshine or the direct sun rays has been causing a little bit of the melting of ice out there on the roadways. And that's definitely a good sign here. Even though it's freezing out there on the grounds right now, the sun's rays can definitely contribute to the melting of ice. But all of that melting that going on right now is expected to refreeze as we move into the overnight hours for tonight here. So it won't be pretty long lasting, this melting. It won't be. We will be dealing with below freezing temperatures at least until I would say Thursday or Friday morning. Or it was either Thursday morning or Friday morning, where we should see the warmest day of the week, and then the cold front would knock our temperatures back into the below freezing range just through the next few mornings afterwards, heading into our upcoming weekend here. We're going to be diving into a quick break here just to set up some things, and we'll be back with another quick live weather update for you guys just to show you guys what we're expecting through the rest of the week, and we'll be back in just around 2 minutes. And good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back. We are diving into a quick forecast here just before the stream starts for Mayor Tom Arsenal, which he will be giving a live weather update on here. We're going to be streaming here live on our Facebook, YouTube, and on all of our streaming platforms there. We're also going to be talking about we're going to be talking about a live weather update just before that stream starts here across the Arklatex, but make sure to stay tuned to the latest updates we have here throughout the rest of today here. And as you can see, we're going to be diving into this forecast for tomorrow. once we finish some technical difficulties here that's going on as of right now. Okay, so we're gonna be working with some things behind the scenes here. Just in just a second, we'll be back in just around 2 minutes with the stream from Mayor Tom Arsenault. Sorry about that, guys. I forgot to do some things behind the scenes here, but we're back on track. Here's a live look at our forecast for tomorrow, just to give you a quick gist of what we can expect through the rest of this week before we push to the stream of for Mayor Tom Arsenault, giving us a live winter weather update here. Tomorrow, we are expecting temperatures to rise back well above the freezing mark for this freezing mark, as you can see, which is 32 degrees. We'll be dealing with highs in the 40s and 30s, upper 30s out there across the region. But we do look to be, now that I'm looking at the stream that's just queued up here, that is about to come up in just a second. This live stream is starting in around 30 seconds or so. So we're going to be diving into that stream right here on KSLA News 12 and the KSLA News 12 app and all of our streaming platforms. So just a quick weather update. We're not going to be dealing with much rain ahead of us, and temperatures should rise back above the freezing mark through Tuesday afternoon and through the rest of the week here. Make sure to stay warm and stay safe, everyone. This is the stream about to start in around 10 seconds.
Well, everybody, welcome back. We are day 2, of course, interrupting another day with our Mayor Tom Arsenault with winter weather updates. And so as you're coming in, we just want to remind you again, first of all, thank you for joining us today to get this information from our mayor. And as you're joining us, we just want to make sure, because we've been posting and kind of trying to keep you updated on our different platforms. And so we want to make sure that you are connected with us on all of our social media platforms. And here they go on your screen there. We just want to make sure that each of you are staying connected with us on social media and all of the other platforms, as you can see from top to bottom. Instagram, Love Shreveport TV Channel 6, that's Comcast Cable, and of course, Threads, our website, X, formerly known as Twitter, Facebook, and on YouTube. And so we're live right now simultaneously on Facebook and on YouTube. But of course, if you do not follow all the other pages, you can check out what's on your screen. Go ahead and follow those pages. While you're doing so, if you have joined us on Facebook, I need you to do me a favor and click the share button. If you've joined us on Facebook, click the share button. If you joined us on YouTube, copy the link and send it out, because we want as many people on as possible so that they can hear from our mayor as relates to this winter weather and the updates that come along with it. Of course, we're grateful for Mr. Brandon Sneed. He's on with us. And then, of course, we also have digital media leader, Ms. Dominique Washington, is on with us as well. And so, again, we want to make sure that you're sharing this video as we come on. We want to make sure that each of you, again, are connected with us. And when you're getting connected, then you'll be able to see updates that are posted to these particular sites that are on the screen as of now. And then as you're coming in, again, we want you to share the video on Facebook. Click the share button. Then on YouTube, we want to make sure that you're sending it out as well. Again, this is day 2 for you, all of you that are just joining us. Day 2 of winter weather update with our mayor, Tom Arsenault. He's going to come on in one brief second. As he comes, if you have questions, drop them in the comment section. Then we'll be reviewing those questions so that if he does not answer them while he is speaking, we'll try to get those questions answered as well. And then after the fact, there will be some graphics because many of you have some questions. And if he answers those questions, we've got some specific graphics as well that we want to get in front of you. So again, we appreciate all of you, appreciate your time. And without further ado, we're going to ask our mayor to come on the stage. Mayor, how is it going again today?
Well, considering what we have on the ground, it's going very well. Of course, the sun is out today, and we'll get a little bit of thawing, but if we get to freezing today, it'll be just above freezing. So we don't expect a whole lot of thawing to take place. So the weather is kind of the star of the show for this winter storm Fern that we're experiencing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're going to jump right in and let you have the floor.
All right.
Say what you need to say. Thank you again.
Thank you, Corey. Thank you. Thank you to the digital media team for putting this on and helping us to produce this to keep you, the citizens of Shreveport, informed what is going on. So it's a better day. We're through with the winter precipitation for the time being. And the sun is out, and that's a good thing, but it's not going to melt away all of the ice that is covering the streets of Shreveport. So I want to make sure the most important message that we can get out in this delivery is please do not get out. This is not a time to get out and sightsee. The roads are still very, very dangerous. If you don't have a 4-wheel drive vehicle, and even if you do, the roads are going to be very, very slick. We're not able to get to all of them. Our priorities are keeping the roads that are adjacent to hospitals and dialysis centers to keep those clear. We've been doing a very good job of that with our Department of Public Works. The Department of Public Works folks have been working around the clock to make sure that they keep as much open as possible, but they're not able to get to every street or even every major artery. So make sure that you thank them when you see them, but they're not going to be, for example, they're not on Line Avenue yet. They're still working to make sure that the traffic ways that go to hospitals and dialysis centers are well taken care of, because the dialysis patients have to get their treatment within 3 days, or they face some life-sustaining issues with their disease. So that's kind of the weather report. I just finished a call with the coordinated command. It was a very, very good call, kind of a long call. We know a little bit more now to be able to share, but the most important thing is we're going to have very, very cold temperatures tonight. Tonight's temperatures are probably going to be lower than last night. So we want to make sure that you're dripping your faucets overnight tonight, dripping them, not rushing them. And that you also, as this passes tomorrow we're expected to have a high of about 40 degrees, and then Wednesday we'll get up into the middle 40s. So because of the amount of ice and snow that we have on the roads, it may be Wednesday or past that we actually have some clearing of the road. So this is not something that's going to go away quickly. City Hall is closed tomorrow, and the City Council has canceled its regularly scheduled meeting. So Government Plaza will be quiet tomorrow. Sometime tomorrow, we'll make a decision about Wednesday, and that's really going to depend on the weather and what happens with roadways tomorrow. we hope that we'll have some significant thawing of roadways and that things will be better on Wednesday. There also will not be any trash pickup tomorrow. There wasn't any today. There will not be any tomorrow. The current plan is to start picking up trash on Wednesday. So Monday's trash will be picked up on Wednesday, Tuesdays on Thursday, Wednesdays on Friday, and Fridays on Saturday. So I want to make sure that you are aware that because of the shortened schedule and because of the condition of the roads, it is very likely that, for example, on Wednesday, they won't get to all of Monday. And so there'll be some catch up involved. So please have patience with your Public Works Solid Waste Division people, because it's very important that we get that done. But they have to deal with the streets and the condition of streets as they are. I want to make sure that you're aware that there will be an additional shelter. An overnight shelter stood up tonight on the fairgrounds. It's going to be in the agriculture building. And I don't have that address right now, but if you for some reason need additional shelter tonight, that's a good place to go. Most of our other shelters are full. I do believe that the Salvation Army still has some slots open. If you see anyone out, anyone who appears to be homeless and needs a place to go, if you would let the Shreveport Police or the fire department know, so that we can pick those people up and transport them. Many of the volunteer organizations in our city are out looking. Hope Connections and others are out actively looking for people who may be wandering the streets to make sure that they have a place to go. We don't want to have any further deaths. We've had 2 deaths that were related to the weather, we think. And I want to make sure that we are preventing as many of those as possible. Virtually everybody whose power was out has been restored in the city of Shreveport. There are fewer than 1,000 folks in Caddo Parish that are without power. So we want to give our appreciation to SWEPCO for dealing with that situation and getting power restored. We don't expect a lot of other power outages, and I think what will happen is SWEPCO's crews will start to move south. South of us had more ice than we did, and as a result of that, they have greater power outages south of us than we had. All the hospitals are open as of tomorrow. All the dialysis units will be open. Sport Train will not be operating tomorrow except for on-demand services. We'll make a decision about Wednesday sometime during the day tomorrow. So watch for that. We anticipate when this begins to thaw that there will be people who have pipe issues with their homes. Please identify where your main cutoff is and how you can cut your own water off. If not, please call the water company, the water and sewer department, and they will come out and assist you and turn that water off. Listen for leaks and issues with your plumbing so that you'll have fewer issues there, and that if you have a problem, you'll discover it as soon as possible. That pretty much covers where we are. I think we're beginning to be on the tail end of this, but it's going to take several days before the roads are back in really normal condition. We're going to move those as quick as we can. DOTD, once it has I see Brandon Sneed has posted the emergency dispatch number, and thank you, Brandon. We're going to be experiencing some of these difficulties for several days, and we just ask you to be patient. If you don't have to get out, don't get out. DOTD is going to try and get the interstates dry. That's their priority. And then they'll start working on streets like Highway 171, which is Hearn Avenue and Mansfield Road. They'll be working on state highways to try and clear those things. Then they can work on the secondary streets. The same will be true for our public works people. So they'll have their hands full for the rest of the week. So make sure that you make as little travel as possible. It's very important that people stay off the roads. As much as we love our local restaurants, this is not necessarily the time to go out to lunch, because it's going to be dangerous. And we're going to have overnight freezing temperatures tonight, Tuesday night, and Wednesday night, and actually possibly Thursday night too. So what can happen is when you wake up in any morning, you're going to find ice, and the less ice that you see, perhaps the more dangerous it will be, because it'll be black ice that you can't really tell how slick the road is. So the message from here, the most important message I can give you is, please stay in your homes, enjoy the comfort of your home. Hopefully you have stocked up with water and food so that you're well taken care of. I don't think you're going to have significant water problems. And if you do, hopefully your plumber will be able to get you set up right away. We're standing by with our crews to make sure that if we have water main breaks, that they'll be repaired as quickly as possible. And I'm confident that our water and sewer department will be on top of those, as well as the contractors that we have. So thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for getting this update. I may do another one tomorrow, depending on what looks like for Wednesday, but I appreciate the fact that you've tuned in today to get the information. So Corey, I'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you so much, Mayor, for your time and your update on the winter weather. And listen, everyone, of course, we are excited to get this information so that you can continue to do what needs to be done to stay safe and stay warm. Right before we get off, we want to share a few more things. Of course, we saw also Sport Tran Transit sent a message that, of course, they understand how important transit is for our community as the heartbeat of the community's mobility. And they're taking every precaution to ensure service resumes safely. So, of course, thank you for your patience and your trust for Sport Tran Transit, and your patience also in every department. Every department is really, really working hard to keep our city safe and get us back where we need to be. But, of course, it's going to take a little time, as patience is a virtue. And of course, Mr. Lyman has already put, and Brandon has put, this emergency number. If you have a water and sewer emergency, the number is at the bottom of your screen, 318-673-7600. Again, that's 318-673-7600. So again, thank you to the interim director of water and sewer, Mr. Brandon Sneed. And of course, we want to say thank you to Jarvis Morgan, director of public works. I mean, these teams are coming together. They have to be out and about in this winter weather. And so we are they're in our thoughts, they're in our prayers for safety, not only them, even those that are having to work at the hospitals. We are thinking about them, praying for them and their safety, as well as they get from home there and back home. And so, again, we are grateful for digital media. We appreciate Ms. Dominique Washington, Veronica Brown, yours truly, for allowing this or putting this together to help get this information out to all of our citizens of Shreveport. IT department, the Shreveport Police Department, the fire department, the sheriff's department. Listen, we're all working collectively to make sure everyone is well and safe. There are a few things that we want to share with you. I want to put these on the screen so that you can see these things here. Of course, we want to make sure once temperatures are consistently above freezing, we're asking that everyone would stop dripping your faucets so that we can conserve water. And again, if someone has a busted pipe in your home or your business, outside their home or business, you can call again. There's the numbers on the screen, 318-673 7600 or 318-673-5510 to have your water turned off. And hopefully everyone knows where your water valve is, your shutoff valve is. But if not, you can call these numbers and you can get some assistance as relates to helping getting your water turned off. Not only that, but we also, the mayor also went over the garbage collection schedule. Of course, you know, there's an update. There have not been out to pick up the trash, but of course, as you are being patient with the team, they're going to get out, of course, the 26th, starting today, the 26th and the 27th. No garbage will be collected today nor tomorrow due to the weather. Monday's garbage will be collected Wednesday. Tuesday's garbage will be collected Thursday. Thursday's garbage will be collected Friday. Friday's garbage will be collected Saturday. And if there's a lot of garbage, please, again, stay patient with the team as they're working to make sure they can collect all the garbage, because it could be a lot that they have to pick up. And then also, there's an update. All City of Shreveport offices will be closed Tuesday, January the 27th, of course, due to the inclement weather. And we're grateful again that we have leaders that take our lives serious and say, hey, we want everyone to stay home so that they can be safe during this winter weather happening. And so again, we appreciate all of you for joining us on today. Don't forget, as the mayor stated, tonight the temperatures are going to be even lower. So we definitely want you to drip your faucets tonight. In fact, I want to find this flyer and put it on the screen for you as it relates to what needs to happen. If you have not already done so, go ahead. If you've not done so, you need to go and disconnect, drain, and store your garden hoses. Remove your garden hoses, and then you want to cover those spigots and connecting pipes to those outside drains and hoses. And so you want to wrap your pipes in unheated areas such as garages or crawl spaces with insulation to prevent freezing. Okay. And that's for those outside pipes. And then, of course, for your inside pipes, it's essential to protect these pipes. Insulate your pipes, disconnect, as we said, drip your faucets, open the doors at the bottom of your faucets as well, so that that warm air can get inside, as well as we want to help protect your homes. And so we are, again, just giving you this information so that you can stay safe and you can stay warm, and your families can be okay. And listen, we're going to get through this, and we're doing it together because we, in fact, are better together. And so with that being said, again, we're thankful for all of our teams working collectively to make sure our city is safe. And again, we want to say thank you to our mayor, Mayor Arsenault, coming on, giving us updates yesterday, giving us updates today. And maybe tomorrow you'll see us again right here live on Facebook, live on YouTube. And so again, I would say I apologize, but we don't apologize for interrupting your social media scroll. We in fact hope that you stopped and watched and heard what the mayor had to say. And now you're getting ready to get back to your binge watching, back to Netflix, your Hulu, Disney, all of that. And so again, thank you for joining us today, and we may be back tomorrow. So again, I'm going to put this flyer back on the screen one more time so that you can make sure you're following us, because if you've not seen, or if you have seen, you've seen us posting different things on social media, and we want to make sure that you're getting this information. So on the screen there, you see all of our social media handles. Instagram at Love Shreveport. It is verified with a blue check. You know it's us. If you've got Comcast cable, Love Shreveport TV, channel 6 is us. On Threads at Love Shreveport, verified with a blue check. Visit our website, www.shreveportla.gov. Go to X, formerly known as Twitter, at Love Shreveport 1. And then City of Shreveport Government on Facebook, verified with a blue check, as well as YouTube, City of Shreveport, LA. And don't just go to the YouTube channel. Make sure you like and subscribe to the YouTube channel so that you can get updates and you can get notifications when we are on. And so we're grateful again for this time. And without further ado, we're going to say again, stay safe, stay warm. And if you do not have to get out, stay at home. All right. Thank you again. And that's all we've got for you for today. Have a safe rest of your Monday, and rest of your week. Take care now. Bye-bye.
And just to prevent that echo there, so they just wrapped up that stream from Mayor Tom Ossono, and from what he just explained, make sure to run those pipes, drip those pipes through the rest of the overnight hours for tonight, or at least through tonight. And you might want to drip the pipes through the next few nights ahead of us, mainly because of the freezing temperatures that are expected through Wednesday night, as well as on potentially Thursday night as well here. But we should see above freezing temperatures throughout the afternoons ahead of us, which would attribute to the melting of the ice that is out there on the roadways and on the sidewalks as well. Make sure to, once again, stay safe, stay warm. And we're going to be ending the stream off right here. I hope you guys have I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, despite the icy impacts that the winter storm has brought us here around the Arklatex here. And we'll be streaming live on KSLA News 12 at 4 for the latest news and weather updates that we have here at KSLA and what we can expect through the rest of the week. I'll be on the green screen as the meteorologist for 4 p.m. and Chief Meteorologist Matt Jones will be on the green screen at 5, 6, and 10 p.m. tonight on those shows that I had mentioned before. So thank you once again for tuning into this stream. I'm First Alert Meteorologist CJ Cartledge, and I hope you guys, and from all of us here at KSLA, we hope you have a great rest of your day.